are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to College Loop Podcast, 244 of the College Loop Podcast. I'm Dylan Larck. I'm waiting on Twitter to talk to you about the latest. Here to talk to you about the latest in Auburn athletics news, Auburn football news. So we are 5 days away from Auburn football being back in front of all of us, whether you're going to the game or if you're watching on TV. And the depth chart is now a thing. They have finally released the depth chart yesterday, and it is offense looks the part. Defense is really confusing. And of course, Hugh Freeze went over it yesterday. I believe yesterday is the correct day. I'm saying that. Yesterday, talking about how much he hates depth charts. He just doesn't know who the first 11 on the defense level is going to be. So I'll go over that in just a second. And of course, after we get done with the depth chart reaction, I'm going to be power ranking my all 16 SEC teams going into the season. So starting off with the quarterback position on the depth chart, Peyton Thorne, no brainer there. Then you have Hank Brown, Holden Garner, and then Walker White rounding out the quarterback depth chart. No surprise there. Running back room, Jarquez Hunter, Damari Alston, Jeremiah Cobb. No surprise in those first three. Then you have Justin Jones and Sean Jackson rounding out the 4 and 5 positions. But Jarquez Hunter, Damari Alston, Jeremiah Cobb were the exact order that everyone expected this running back room to be in. So no surprise there. And I mean, the defense didn't really have anything that's very surprising. Outside of, looking at the tight end room, Rivaldo Fairweather's going to be starting at tight end. No shocker there. But Brendan Frazier has worked his way into being tight end number 2, as well as battling out with Luke Deal. And then Michael Riley and Rico Walker running out the tight end room. So you have a pretty loaded tight end room going all the way down to tight end number 5. So you can see a lot more of them whenever you go into 11 and 12 personnel. Wide receivers. This one, I mean, I was not shocked at all about what we've seen here. I pretty much predicted this. Cam Coleman, wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, probably Keandre Lambert-Smith, and then in the slot, you have Robert Lewis. Behind Cam Coleman, you have Camden Brown and Caleb Burton rounding out the outside wide receivers. Slot guys, Malcolm Simmons and Sam Jackson the 5th. And then the other outside receiver backing up Keandre Lambert-Smith is Perry Thompson. So wide receivers, very hyped by the wide receivers. I heard from Hugh Freeze yesterday in his press conference that he thinks all 6 of these guys can just rotate freely. So you're never. And even something I never really thought of was you finally have depth that if someone's running a streak down the field, you can take them out so they're not running another route after running full speed down the field as fast as possible. So I thought it was really cool to think, because I never thought of it something like that. I never thought of taking a wide receiver out after they run a streak route because they'd be tired. I know it sounds dumb, but I was like, I never thought of Auburn not having enough wide receivers just to do that. But last few years have been pretty bad wide receiver wise. So glad to see that something is finally changing in the Auburn wide receiver room sphere of things. Going to the offensive line, Xavier Miller, right tackle, right guard, Jeremiah Wright, center, Connor Liu, and left guard, Connor Wade. No shocker there. All the guys I predicted, but it does seem that Tyler Johnson has been making a push for that left tackle position. So he'll be battling out with Percy Lewis, and they still don't know who's going to be starting it there. But they do know what Hugh Freeze said yesterday during this press conference, that Dylan Wade, Tyler Johnson, Percy Lewis, and Braden Joyner have all been kind of interchanging around, trying to fit schemes that they work the best in. So, and again, they talked about the depth of every position, how much Hugh Freeze really pushed on trying to get more than just one guy that can play a specific position, especially one that's going to require you to take a guy out every once in a while to give him a break. But glad to see that Tyler Johnson, a redshirt freshman, is making a push against a all SEC honorable mention or all SEC caliber player and Percy Lewis. So that's the offense. No, I'm again not shocked by the offense whatsoever. I think this is the exact same offense that I predicted, and the same one that I was expecting to happen going into this season. Defense side of the ball, I mean, I should have loaded it up for everybody to see because they bold the names of the starter and then it's just listed down below. Yeah, there are I believe around 37-ish, 30-ish, 40-ish players bolded on this depth chart that I'm currently looking at. It is absolutely crazy just the amount of oars listed on every single player's name. So going by what I would presume would be it. You're gonna see Keldrick Falk and Jalen McLeod starting at the DN and the buck position. No shock there. Auburn's gonna be running 3 linebackers this year: a dime, a middle linebacker, and a strong side linebacker. Austin Keys, don't know if he's gonna be ready to go by Saturday. He free said he needs to see a lot from him on Tuesday or today and Wednesday as well in order to really determine whether or not he will be on the field against Alabama A&M. So, if not Austin Keys, looks like DeMarcus Riddick might get his first career start as a true freshman, which, just saying, I was right that he's going to be right up there with the starters. Just saying. I will say I was very proud to see that Eugene Asante will be starting at the dime linebacker. I was proud to see that Robert Woodyard. I said that he tested the portal earlier this offseason and has come back and he's starting to impress the coaching staff a lot and we're earning his way as the guy right behind Eugene Asante. The middle linebacker Dorian Mousey looks like he's going to be the starting middle linebacker. Right behind him is Fanaje Gote, and then DJ Barber rounding out the third string for middle linebacker. Going to the star, it looks like Champ Anthony will be the starting star. At least that's how he was the first one named. There's no telling who's starting anywhere on this depth chart. Jaquez Robinson out of Colorado is said to be the second string, and then Kinsley Ludor Foston said to be the third string star position. Free safety Caleb Wooden or Caleb Harris or Griffin Speaks. I expect Caleb Wooden to be the first guy to go on the field for the safety position. Other safety Jaron Thompson or Sylvester Smith or Terrence Love. Again, I expect Jaron Thompson to take that. I think he's had that starting spot since he transferred in from Texas. Outside corners, Keontae Scott and Kyan Lee expected to get those nods at the first string outside corners. Guys behind Keontae, Antonio Kite and Amon Lane Gaines. No shock there. Antonio Kite really has impressed the staff ever since he came in from Alabama. Amon Lane, and I'll talk about Amon Lane in a second, but Kyan Lee after him is JC Hart, who's been having an outstanding offseason, and Jalen Crawford. So you have Amon Lane Gaines and Jay Crawford, the two true freshmen coming in, and are the cornerback threes behind their respective corners. Going back to the interior defensive line, there is no telling who is going to be starting for the interior. You expect Philip Bleedy and Isaiah Rakes, so they're the first ones listed, and they're just the ones we've heard the most about, being the guy starting in the middle of the D line. But right after Philip Bleedy is Blake Blockton that's been listed, and I'm just want to say, if I was right about DeMarcus Riddick, and it looks like I was also right about Blake Blockton, who was the second guy listed defensive tackle position. And I kind of look back at the freshman class and trying to think of guys who would be redshirted. I thought there'd be a lot more guys that would be that, but this 2024 class is next level. So you're probably not going to see a lot. You're going to see a lot of these guys playing, more than 4 games going into this year. Gage Keys and TJ Lindsey backing up Malik Blockton on the D line. Behind Isaiah Rakes, the nose tackle position, Jason Jones, Trill Carter, and Quyan Terrell, Jamison Travis. Pretty much expected that. I thought Isaiah Rakes just came in from, I want to say Texas A&M, but he transferred to USC for a little bit and then came to Auburn. I was really impressed. So starting at nose tackle for him. Defense, I mean, the fact that the defense can bold at all these names and have all these oars is kind of cool, I guess. I mean, it sucks to read it. I'm trying to read all these names, and you usually the offense of the ball has everything all separated off correctly, or but the fact that the defense has multiple players who can step in and fill certain roles right away, and there not be that much of a drop off from the first string defense to the second string defense, it's something the Auburn fans should be very excited about. I mean, this is a absolutely loaded defense, and I mean, this is most people, and I'm going to include myself on this. This is the strong side of this Auburn team this year is the defensive side of the ball. They loaded up. They got corners, they got safeties, and of course the DB room is going to be the position group that probably going to require the most recruiting after this season because they're very thin. I mean, that saw that the two true freshmen are going to be playing in right away. And I mean, those guys were really good whenever watching film on them. So defense is going to be stacked. Can't wait for to see the defense comes out and who actually gets the starting nods for all these guys. Special teams. Looks like Reed Hughes will be the long snapper. Right behind him is Keaton McNutt. Holder is going to be Oscar Chapman. Right behind him is Will Upton, a guy who Hugh Freeze also said he would trust a lot to catch the punts. Starting punter is Oscar Chapman again. Behind him is Gabe Russo. Kick returner and punt returner Keontae Scott and Keandre Lambert Smith will be taking the helm at the punt returner position at the punt returner role, and kick returner Jeremiah Cobb and Malcolm Simmons. Starting at place kicker, Alex McPherson is listed as a starter, but Hugh Freeze is not sure that he'll be ready to go by Alabama A&M. I don't think he's very sure at all. He's been kicking, so we're going to see Alex McPherson kick this year. But I think, and I wouldn't say I know mostly, Towns Magoo will be kicking for the Auburn Tigers against Alabama A&M, getting his first career start, and most likely impressing. He was very good at A-Day. I don't expect anything less from Towns Magoo because Auburn's got the best two-headed monster of kickers in the country. That's without a doubt in my mind. That's the depth chart. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I think this is the best case scenario of the depth chart going into this year, especially because you look at the offensive line, you have a position battle going on at the left tackle room with Tyler Johnson and Percy Lewis. But no real shocker on what the offense looks like. Defense, I mean, the fact that there's 2-3 deep on every position and it says "or" next to it. It really is awesome. The fact that Auburn can have 37 dudes who can go in and not be a difference in how the defense plays based on who goes in. So that's something to look up to. Look forward to going into this year. I mean, we are 5 days away from Auburn football. I'm so excited, and I'm just excited college football is back in general. I watched week 0, watched Florida State lose, I watched Montana State take down New Mexico. I also watched SMU struggle against Nevada. So that was a crazy game. Not Nevada. Who did SMU play against? Was it Nevada? Hold on. Now I've done throw myself off. I'm gonna look this up while I'm looking this up. I'm gonna play the commercial for the merch. And let's start this break. I'll tell you that, and then I'll power rank the SEC team. So we'll be right back.
Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your college loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program.
And it was, in fact, Nevada. I was right. I don't know why I doubted myself. So yeah, the college loop merch, warreport.com. Go to the shop. First page is the hat. Second page is the shirt. Get both of them. Halloween's right around the corner. Best Halloween costume of the year is a looper, if you would. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on this channel, on this video, letting us know what you think of the depth chart. Leave your predictions early for the Alabama A&M game. Thursday's show will be a prediction for the Auburn game of the week, as well as going over the best 10 games of the week that I think. I think that definitely, I'm keep throwing my mouse down. Clemson, Georgia is going to be on the list. A&M, Notre Dame is going to be on the list, and a few other choice games I'm going to make for the Thursday show. But talking about the SEC, I'm going to be power ranking all 16 teams in the SEC. I know that I have been kind of slacking on my SEC season preview series. As soon as I have a free afternoon, I'm going to just record. see, 5 days left. Gonna try to do 2 per day leading up, or maybe even more than that, just to get it all done by Friday. So bear with me on that. It's been a Friday Night Lights really packed up my schedule. So SC Power Ranking, starting from the bottom and going up. Number 16, the Vanderbilt Commodores. I don't think that's any shocker there. I don't really know how much I have to explain for Vanderbilt. I just it's Vanderbilt. And they're just not good. It sucks. They bring the GPA of up for the entire SEC, which is nice. But I mean, I don't think Clark Lee is going to be at Vanderbilt much longer. I don't think that there's a winning tradition that's ever going to be started up there. I mean, James Franklin had something going on years ago, but ever since then, Vanderbilt has just been on a steady decline. And just I don't think they're going to be any better this year. I don't think that they are recruiting players well enough. I don't think they're going after the portal well enough. Just everything about Vanderbilt is just not going well for football. Number 15, Mississippi State. Mostly, I think Mississippi State's going to be struggling because it's a first-year head coach. I think Jeff Lebby could have this offense looking like something right out of Mike Leach playbook. I think you're going to see another high-flying level offense again Mississippi State, but I don't think you're going to see a dangerous version of that this year. I think they're going to be the 15th worst team in the SEC, or 15th best would probably be the better. Whichever one makes them sound like they're the 15th team in the SEC, because that's where I think they're going to be at. I don't think they're going to fire Jeff Lebby after 1 year. I think that they're just going to have to get through this year and move on to the next year with Jeff Lebby. 14, I have Arkansas, a team I'm not high on whatsoever. I think Sam Pittman is going to be the first SEC coach fired during this course of the season. Like I said, Clark Lee, I expect to get canned, but I think it will be more after the end of the year. And it's not because I think Clark Lee's a bad coach. I just don't think that he is the coach to fix Vanderbilt. But Sam Pittman, definitely not the right coach. Players like him well enough, and it's just they just don't fit what Arkansas used to be. They just aren't competitive. They lost players to the portal. I thought Sam Pittman was gonna get fired after last year, and I was kind of shocked that he didn't. Been on just a decline since that first season was so good. I don't expect Arkansas to be much better this year. Number 13, I have South Carolina. Shane Beamer is a coach I think that I kind of have on my hot seat. I have him listed in my top 5, but I don't know if he'll get fired after this year or not. I just don't know what to expect from them yet. I mean, Lenore Sellers has been a very solid quarterback throughout the spring. I'm just not too high on South Carolina as a team. I think Shane Beamer is doing a great job building up a culture there. I think he's recruiting well for South Carolina. I just don't know if he's the coach to get them back to where they were in the 2010s when Spurrier was there. I just don't think that he's going to get them there. I just don't know. So yeah, South Carolina at 13. Number 12, I have the Florida Gators. Another team that I'm expecting to fire their coach at the end of this year. I think that Florida could be a very good team with a bad record. I think that's definitely how Florida's season could go. But I got them at 12. I don't think Billy Napier is going to be in Gainesville much longer. I think that Florida lost too much in the recruiting cycle to really keep up, because they had one of the best classes and then it just dropped. So Florida, I have a number 12. Number 11, I have Kentucky. I think Kentucky Wildcats, number 11. I don't think Mark Stoops is going to be at Kentucky much longer either. I think you're going to see maybe 3 or 4 SEC coaches gone after this year. You picked up Brock Vandegrift through the portal. You have a nice combo of wide receivers. The defense could be something nice. I just don't think that Kentucky is going to be ready for the schedule that they have. I think that you're going to see a middle-of-the-road Kentucky team this year, and I have them at 11. So going to my top 10, I have Texas A&M starting off at number 10. I think A&M has the potential to be a very sneaky good team. I have them at 10 listed because I think it's starting off where I want them to be. But I think A&M, because of Mike Elko and because of the talent that they have on the roster, I mean, this is the team that could win 9 games and it not be a shock to anybody. Mike Elko at Duke never lost less than 8 games. And that's something that's really special because Duke is Duke in football and really turned that program around before he came back to A&M. So yeah, I think A&M could be a sneaky good team. Going from the top now, because I think everyone's kind of expecting. I don't. No one's going to expect 9 and 8, but 1 through 7, I think I can get that out of the way. Actually, I won't do that. Never mind. I'll just go back to the top. Everyone knows who number 1 is. Number 9. I'll give us a code to number 9. Number 9, I have Auburn. I have Auburn in the middle, and of course, I have Auburn going 8-4. I have them beating A&M, but I don't have them beating the teams in front of them. I think Auburn is another one of those sneaky good teams that the roster finally got built up to a coach's, to Hugh Freeze's liking, but just to a coach's liking. You have wide receivers who are talented enough to actually catch the ball. You have an offensive line that has like the chemistry built to protect the quarterback, and the defense is stacked. I think Auburn's going to this year with a lot of promise for a massive improvement of last season. So I have Auburn number 9. Number 8, I have Oklahoma. Jackson Arnold, Brent Venables. I don't know what to expect from Jackson Arnold this year, but I'm not too high on Brent Venables. I think that Oklahoma has a good enough team to be a decent enough team in the SEC. I think they would just need a couple years to really get back to where they were in the Big 12 a few years ago, because Oklahoma has since fallen off in a way. I know they had a chance to go to the Big 12 championship last year, but and they beat Texas, but they lost to Kansas the next week. So I just don't know what to expect from Oklahoma. I mean, they have a great amount of talent on the offense side of the ball. I just don't think it's going to be an SEC caliber defense. I think that they get a good win early against Auburn, but I don't think after that it'll be a season that Oklahoma fans are going to be very excited about. Number 7, I have LSU. LSU is a team that I think could be as high in the could either win the conference or finish below the 10 spot in the conference, just because of that defense. I don't trust that defense whatsoever, but I think the offense is talented enough to get them within the top 10, or I guess the top 8, really. Brian Kelly can coach offense, but this defense is going to need a lot of fixing before they can really start competing for the SEC again. So yeah, I have LSU at number 7. Number 6, I have Tennessee. I'm buying into the hype of Nico Iamaleava. Squirrel White, great wide receiver, a great name, might I say. Squirrel, great name. James Pearson, the defense side of the ball, one of the best edge rushers in the country, projected top 5 pick wherever you look at NFL mock drafts. I think Tennessee is going to be really good this year. I think it's a team that could shock a lot of people in who they beat. I think Tennessee could possibly be Alabama again this year. The game's in Neyland. This team is loaded, and I think Nico has a chance to be a Heisman candidate level quarterback. I like what I saw from him last year in the few games we got in the game he got the start, but in the time we got to see him, he looked poised as a true freshman. I have Tennessee at number 6 going to the season. Number 5, I have Ole Miss. Now, whether or not I think this team is going to win a championship this year, do well in the playoffs, is another question. I think they'll make the playoffs because I think they're going to get 9-10 wins. Ole Miss has one of the best wide receiver rooms in the country. Jackson Dart's coming back for his 4th or 5th year, somewhere up there. And then they have a nice little running back room as well. The offense is going to be loaded, as Lane Kiffin always does. Defense also picked up a lot of great players on the defense side of the ball. Walter Nolan coming to mind first. I really think Ole Miss could be a team that, not only do I think they're going to make the playoffs, but there's some teams on their schedule that I think they are going to surprise a lot of people by beating badly. So Ole Miss, I currently have number 5. And it's just at the end of the season, I just don't think Ole Miss is going to be, championship level team. I just don't think Lane Kiffin is a championship coach. That's just my opinion. All right, number 4, I have Alabama. This is still a Nick Saban team, so I think this team is still going to impress just because I think they're going to win a lot of games because it's still a very talented team. Ask me how they're going to be in like 2 years, and I don't think they'll be as good as they were the past few. Their schedule, I think, kind of is pretty easy for them. I think that they have a lot of home games that are going to fit in there what they want to do this year. But I also think that there are a lot of games Alabama could lose this year that they're not expecting to lose. So Alabama currently number 4. I'm thinking more on the high side of what this roster could look like. But right now, one of the most talented teams in the SEC. I think they're going to finish 4th in the SEC. Right behind the Missouri Tigers, who I am extremely high on this year. You're bringing back Brady Cook. You're bringing back Luther Burden. You're getting some new running backs come in to replace. I'm trying to remember the guy's name that played last year. I cannot off the top of my head. Defense is going to be loaded. I am super high on Missouri this year, and I think that they are going to surprise the world. I think I have Alabama losing to Missouri this year, and I'm going to stand by that until I get proven wrong. So I think Missouri's going to finish 3rd in the SEC. Now, number 2 and number 1, I don't think anyone's shocked by that whatsoever. I almost just started from the top just to get them out of the way. Number 2, I have Texas. You have Quinn Ewers. You just have an absolutely loaded roster around Texas. I think that they're going to finish 2nd in the SEC in their first year in the SEC. And just because I think the number 1 team is the best team in the country. So, yeah, Texas, I think, is going to come to the SEC and is going to pretty much fit in right away and go to the SEC conference game. I think that they're going to play, based on my prediction, I have Texas playing Georgia 3 times in a season, if I'm not wrong. They play in the regular season. I have them playing the SEC championship, but also have playing in the playoffs as well. All 3 games won by the Georgia Bulldogs. It's my number 1 team in the SEC. In terms of talent-wise, Ohio State has some of the better players in the country, but as a team, Georgia has the best team in the country, led by the best coach in college football, Kirby Smart. I think this is the year that they win another championship. I think this makes Kirby's 3rd championship. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong to say about Georgia this year. I mean, I think their schedule is pretty easy for their standards. Carson Beck is back for what could be a Heisman candidacy season, as well as a season to get some drafts in the top 10 of the NFL draft this next year. Oscar Delp is going to pick up right where Brock Bowers left off. The wide receiver room is stacked. The defense will always be stacked under Kirby Smart. I think Georgia is without a doubt the number 1 team in the SEC. But yeah, that does it for my SEC power rankings. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But yeah, I don't think I'm too wrong. I'm gonna stand by what I said here. But that does it for this installment of the College Loop Podcast. I'm Dylan Larck on Twitter at Dylan Larck, on Instagram at DYLENLERCK. And you follow me right here on the College Loop, where you should like, comment, subscribe. Also check out the social medias as well. I'm blanking on things to say. Follow social media as well on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works. All is the College Loop, and the audio version of the show on Spotify, Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And with all that being said, thanks for watching. This is some of the College Loop Podcast. And as always, War Eagle.